Now with local news first. You're watching Concho Valley This Morning.
Coming up on Concho Valley this morning, an afternoon crash brought traffic to a halt on South Bryant. Also, work is underway on the new Angelo State Golf Complex. And a look at the stories trending across the nation in today's top news stories. Good morning. It's Friday, March 15th. Thank you for waking up with Concho Valley This Morning. I'm Maya Skinner. A new project is underway on campus at Angelo State University this week. Work continues today on a new skate park in a West San Angelo neighborhood. It's in a small neighborhood park along Freeland between Sherwood Way and Houston Hart, the new area at Mountain View Park. Last week, operators said a grand opening will be happening soon at the new facility that includes a mini ramp and 10-foot grind box with rails and ramps. Skaters will be able to use the park from 8 in the mornings until 10 in the evenings. Let's check in with Jake and get a look at this storm. Jake, when is it getting to San Angelo? I know it's already down in Ozona.
Yeah, it's on its way. I mean, National Weather Service just issued a tornado warning for Ozona, Crockett County, so be on the lookout for that. And we're seeing some of this ping pong ball size hail.
Once again this year, almost all San Angelo rodeo tickets sold out within hours of going online this week. By noon on Monday, there were 88,000 requests for tickets for only 60,000 available seats for the run of the rodeo. We're following the royal drama as rumors continue to swirl around the status of Princess Kate. Vote counting in Tom Green County went late Tuesday evening as a number of people were still standing in line to vote when the polls closed. Tom Green County Elections Administrator Vanna Hudson says 7,800 voters cast ballots during early voting. How to enjoy Taylor Swift's Eras Tour from your own living room, and the band Weezer is celebrating a milestone with a new tour. Danya Backus has your Eye on Entertainment report. Good morning. I'm back with Bob Bluthart from Fort Concho.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Rise and shine.
I've risen. I'll shine later.
I understand you have some events going on this week and coming up. Can you talk about that?
Yes, we do. March kind of begins our busy season, so in case folks haven't noticed, it is spring break. Everyone else is on spring break. We're working. Yeah. This is what we do. We are a cultural asset. So we have special walking tours of the site daily through the weekend at 11:30 and 2 through Saturday, and at 2 o'clock on Sunday. So if you have out-of-town guests and you need to find something to do with them for a couple of hours, bring them on by. We'll entertain them and educate them. We also have an afternoon tea. That sounds really high class, doesn't it?
Yes.
Well, back in the day, particularly in Europe, people had tea at 2 o'clock in the afternoon since they didn't eat dinner or supper until late at night. So we're going to recreate an afternoon tea for children. This will be at 2 o'clock on Thursday. Tickets are $10. And then we have all the soldiers returning to the fort. We have a living history training weekend starting Friday afternoon, but really gearing up on Saturday and early Sunday morning. It's called Garrison Days. There'll be a lot of guys in old-timey uniforms drilling and marching and shooting rifles and just making believe they were soldiers back in the 1880s. So real colorful activity, and if folks are in the neighborhood, drop on by.
Well, it definitely seems like there's something for everybody here, especially with spring break, like you said. Get out there. There's something to do. Can you talk about just the importance of the history, you know, being able to share this here in San Angelo?
Well, to put it honestly, this Fort Concho is why we're here. 160 years ago, there was no fort, and there was no San Angelo. When the Army came here in December of 1867, the Plunka Fort down in the middle of nowhere as part of a chain of forts throughout West Texas, that's what caused San Angelo to be created and grow. Now, fortunately, the city has developed far beyond its original women, whiskey, and sin routine across the river, but it is the reason why we're here, and it's also part of the city's long-term history. We're a military town.
Yes.
Goodfellow is a huge part of our heritage, and that's the way we started. So it's what we are, and we try to serve the public with programs and activities all throughout the year. We're open virtually every day of the year, except obviously the big holidays, and folks need to come by and see us. A lot of good things to see.
Can you talk about April? I know we're jumping ahead, but you have your speaker series.
Yes, thank you for that. It's in the Wednesdays of April. This is a 30-year-plus tradition. Joyce Gray, our program chairman, does a great job. Now, let's see if I can remember those dates. April 3, 10, keep adding, 17 and 24. And I don't exactly remember the topics for each day. They're on our website at fortconcho.com, but we'll have talks on old homes of San Angelo, railroad history, Chief Joseph, and the eclipse coming up, and a few other topics. In fact, I think on some days we're doing 2 talks a day. Always free, 12 to 1, Commissary Building at the Fort, Wednesdays of April.
Do you feel like you're still learning something new? I know you've been doing this for some time, but do you still get that joy every time you participate in these?
Great question, and absolutely yes. The old joke is the only new history is the history you don't know. I've been here a long time. I'm not from San Angelo or Texas originally, as we were discussing earlier, but I think that one of the reasons I like San Angelo and I think I fit in is I've learned about the history of the community, and I think everybody who moves to a new place really needs to know where they're at. It really makes you feel more comfortable.
Well, we are so thankful that you came by here to share with us the events that are coming up, and definitely check it out if you haven't already. The Texas new school safety law is now in effect, expanding security requirements on every campus. Yesterday, the Texas Attorney General issued additional guidance on compliance as some districts struggle to find the funding. KLST's Ryan Chandler has the story. All right, I'm here with Glenna Friedrich from the Better Business Bureau. Thank you for being here.
Well, you're welcome.
I understand residents have been asking about how to help with the wildfires at the Panhandle. Can you talk about that?
That's correct. And we did some research to put this together because I decided we really needed to make sure we included as many agencies and companies as possible. We did start with Palmer Feed and Supply because they were kind of taking the lion's share of the responsibility. But then we have several FFA groups that have stepped in, Water Valley, Christoval, Canadian. Canadian is in the Panhandle, the school is, and they had they lost their entire barn. I mean, it was a big barn and it burned down. And so they are going to have to totally rebuild. And so they're looking for donations, and they're looking for, anything that goes into the building and construction of a barn. A lot of the ranchers lost their barns. Then we had ranchers who lost their homes. That's why we have printed this flyer up here. And so we're going to, if you'll call the office, the Better Business Bureau office, 949-2989, and just ask us to send you one. We'll send it free of charge. And it tells you kind of some of the items that they're trying to collect: hay, minerals, fencing, non-perishable foods, water, diapers, formula, all of that kind of stuff. And really, because the people's homes were hit on some of this, you've got personal items for the people that live up there. And then we had the fencing, because the ranchers had to cut their barbed wire fences to let the cattle out so they could escape the fire that moved very quickly. It was a grass fire, and it moved very quickly. So, there's just a myriad of things that they need, pet food, tax, snacks, personal hygiene items, etc. So.
Yes, you had mentioned before that you don't think about just the basic items that people
food.
need. Yes, food, diapers.
Right, diapers, formula, that kind of thing. And then there's the case of, so maybe the mother can't nurse the calves now because, the udders are burned. And so they need to have people to help them feed the calves. And so, they're looking for volunteers up there. All of this is being, funneled through Palmer Feed and also through banks in the Panhandle. And if you'll just call us, there's too many to mention.
Yes.
But if you'll call us, we'll be glad to mail you this flyer that we put together ourselves, and we'll send it to you, and you can pick and choose what you're wanting to do. That started out with ranchers who knew about the fire and said they came into Palmer's and they were buying their hay and grain like they usually do, and they said, hey, just to help out for those people up there, how about if I buy an extra bale of hay or, you know, alfalfa or whatever. And so they got a big truck and they began filling it up, and then when it was full, off it went. And I don't know how many trucks they've sent, but they have done a very you know, commendable job.
Yes, it's been very hands-on deck since it's happened. You know, the more hands, the better. You're talking about all the contacts, but I would say the more, the merrier.
Yeah, really, that's true, because there's so many different places, and school districts, you know, don't have a lot of money, and so pulling together enough money to rebuild an entire barn or to replace what they have lost is a big task. So if anybody can help with it, then if you feel like, hey, I feel like I can do that, then just step up. You don't have to be a farmer or a rancher yourself. They're taking cash donations too to funnel up there. So, you know, you can help out in that direction.
Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing this information.
Yeah.
And Jake will be next with your forecast.
Thursday, we plan to warm back up. I mean, look at that, 84 degrees on Thursday. We should see the sun again. Maya, how do you feel about all the rain and then seeing the sun again?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that sun. It's really looking like spring. And I think you'll like this, Jake. Today is National VO Day, or National Voiceover Day. We celebrate the people who are a part of, like, you know, cartoons and TV shows, movies, stuff like that. Did you have a favorite show growing up? I know I loved the Powerpuff Girls and Arthur and Rugrats growing up, all the voices.
The Powerpuff Girls, I forgot about that one. What was the name of the monkey? Mojo Jojo?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Mojo Jojo?
Yes, he was a menace.
What about Tom and Jerry?
Oh,
They didn't have any voices in that one, so.
No, just a little bit, but I know you said you liked Ed and Eddie.
Oh, Ed and Eddie, that's a good one too. And SpongeBob, we can never go wrong with SpongeBob. That's always a good one.
Yeah, that's a classic right there. And then, like, movies, I think of Twilight. You know, Bella, she always voiced over her thoughts and feelings, so, you know, that's a classic right there.
I never watched the movies. I am Team Jacob, though, but that's for a very specific reason, you know.
Yeah, that was a great franchise. Well, that's all for our show for today. Be sure to join us at 4 for Concho Valley Live, and we'll have more news at 5, 6, and 10. Thank you for watching News at Noon. Have a great afternoon, Concho Valley.